Good morning, everyone. Let me just adjust my camera here. Good morning. So today, oh, my camera's shaking. Okay, behave yourself. All right. So today I'm going to talk about some morning business hacks. Okay, what that means is things I do to get my morning started that really make for a productive day. I'll be honest, okay? Not every morning's like this. So even though I know my hacks, I know what to do in order to get a productive day, motivating day, not always do I follow it because you never know what happens. But I try my best to follow this, and it really helps me, okay? So I want to go over that with you. If you're not following me on Instagram, I've been posting some Instagram stories, okay? They're a little bit different than regular posting. And you'll see what my morning looks like. You'll see what my day looks like through those. So that's kind of fun. Make sure you follow that and check me out each day. And I'm also going to talk about blogging, okay? A lot of people wonder if blogging's right for them. I want to talk about what it entails, etc. And then if you already, really want to do it, if you already know, then I want to talk to you about, answering the question of what the hell I should even blog about, okay? This is really important because it's very different for e-commerce businesses, okay? So good morning. Okay, let me fix my hair. Everything's looking good. All right. Oh, let me see if my drink is ready for consumption. I expect it to be that hot. Hold on. It's all right today. All right. Anyway, good morning. So let me get started with some hacks before we talk about blogging. Blogging scares you. It shouldn't scare you. It's not difficult by any means. However, it has to be some strategy behind it in order for you to succeed at it, and make it make sense, for your business. You're not blogging just to blog. You're doing it to help your business, right? Yes, blogging does help boost SEO for product-based businesses, but sort of. I have to explain that to people. But yes, what do you blog about? Absolutely have to talk about, okay? But again, before we get started, I wanted to go over some morning business hacks that I do, okay? I posted it yesterday on Instagram, and I posted it under Instagram stories. I was, showing some people some things. I posted some things today already in the morning, so make sure you check it out. Ashley, my daughter, says hi and good morning also. She loves to watch with me. Hi, Ashley's daughter. What's your daughter's name? I'll say hi to her by name. So I just want to go over some things, okay? So again, this works for me. It may work for you. If it doesn't work for you, because you're like, yeah, it's not my thing, it doesn't really get me motivated, it doesn't really get me productive, then I encourage you to take what I'm doing and say, okay, did I find what works for her? Let me find out what works for me and keep doing it each morning. Tira? Hi, Tira. Okay, so what I do every morning, usually I try my best to do it before my Facebook Live unless I'm running late. I start my to-do list, okay? This was from yesterday, as you could see, but I added some more things. I didn't want to start a new paper. Long story why. Don't even ask what's in my head. But I still have some things to complete, and I usually like to write it over into a new page, fresh new page, but I'm still leaving it, and I added a few more things. If you follow me on Instagram stories, I showed you what my desk looks like today. So I mentioned I have to put clean desk on my to-do list. Point is, I start my morning, before I do anything really, including the Facebook Live, I sit with my drink and I start writing what I have to do for the day, okay? So that's a really simple tip, right? How many of us out here, and be honest, like, it's okay, even if that works for you, it's fine. How many of us do not start with a to-do list? If you don't start with a to-do list in the morning, then go ahead and say, I don't. Go ahead and comment down below just so I know how many people actually don't do it. And if you comment you don't, let me know, how do you feel your productivity is throughout the day? Do you think it's great? Do you think it could be better? Do you think it's okay? Okay, so just let me know in the comments below. If I hear from nobody, I can assume everybody here starts with a to-do list, which is quite intense, okay? Susan says she doesn't, okay. Okay, you don't. I try to, but some mornings I miss. Okay. I'm okay with a little inconsistency. Sometimes we have to get a groove going before we become consistent. I do, but I don't write it down. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one because I think a lot of people do, but they don't write it down. That's the issue. I try, but not all the time. I have a daily to-do list, but it's in my head. I may begin to write it on my whiteboard daily. You know, there's some studies, right, and I do air quotes because I'm not exactly sure where this came from, but I believe there are studies that shows that if you write things down and see it, one, you're writing it down, one, you see it, it helps you become more productive, okay? So a lot of people actually don't. Some people do, okay? When I wake up, I visualize what I have to do that day. No, I don't. So a lot of people don't. You know, Ashley says I don't, and I'm sure that affects me. So I think it's important to, first of all, my way is not the only way. My way or not, it's not my way or the highway, right? We know that different things work for different people, and I just say that this really works for me. And I know this sounds weird, but I find that we're a lot alike, all of us. Obviously, we're in the same boat, give or take, right? So I encourage you to try it. It doesn't cost you money. It doesn't cost you much time. I could only imagine it could only help you. So I'm not going to put pressure on you guys. It is really up to you because I really don't know if it's going to work collectively with the whole group. But I encourage you to try it. Could you commit to, the next 5 days or the next 5 business days when you work to do a to-do list in the morning? And then after that, you can stop and then see if it works for you. The reason why I'm doing this Facebook Live is to give you some morning business hacks, and I feel like a to-do list, I'm a planner, I feel like it will help you, okay? Here's another thing that helps me. This is corny, okay, but I'm sure people can relate. And if you can relate, let me know. There you go. Nancy said it. Nancy says, when you cross it off, it gives me a sense of accomplishment. Guys, I live for the cross off, and I will tell you a secret that if I find myself working on something that just happened to come out of another project, it just happened, like I have to finish this really quick, I will write it down and then check it off, even though it's not on my to-do list, because I want to see the check off. Now, am I a child? No. I may act like one sometimes, but it's something with how our brain works. It's something with how we work, okay? But it feels right. And who's to stop me if it feels right and motivates me? I encourage you guys to try it. You may find after the week long, you do the same. Okay, I feel like I was the only one, but I maybe felt like maybe somebody could connect with me. Awesome, Christina. So I feel like if you do it for a week, 5 days, whatever, and try it, it's not going to hurt you. In fact, you will then put it to rest. Does it work for you, and it does it, or doesn't it? And if it doesn't, then fine, see you later. But if it does work for you, then all you have to work on is being consistent. Because even I'm not consistent, Most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, I'm making a to-do list. But sometimes I don't. And usually most of those times, I'm usually working on this big to-do list the whole day, like 2 major things, so I don't have to actually write it down. But nonetheless, I use this technique. So I use that technique. I check off, love checking off my little to-do sheet. As you can see, has boxes, okay? So that's that. And then, of course, if I forgot to write something down there and I need to, I write it down. Here's another hack, okay, I like to share with you. I posted on Instagram stories yesterday. It may or may not still be up. Actually, if you go check my Instagram stories, it may still be up. But I'll tell you now. What I tend to do, I have basically on my to-do list, is always going to be 2 or 3, depending on how big the project is, major goal tasks in there. Okay? Then the rest are tiny things I have to do. Okay? I have finished bookkeeping, which I already did. I have clean desk. I have a little tiny thing, but I have some major things in here. Okay? And what I tend to do to get my morning started, first of all, I'll be honest with you. If I could sit on the beach or sit somewhere on vacation the rest of my life, I probably would do that. Yes, I could see I would get bored and want to do something, and I will, but if I could sit back and relax and not do work, I take that. Sometimes I'm tired, Having said that, I don't always look forward to working on the big tasks that morning, unless I'm super motivated to. Something is energy in me, I'm doing it. But most of the time, it's quite a task to work on, these goal tasks that I broke it down into. So I don't want to drag myself to the computer and force myself to work on it. So what do? Here's the hack. I go to some easy ones, okay? So just for the record, after this call, I'm going to go clean my desk, okay? Because that just has to happen. And that will check off. Look at that. I'll check off one thing off the list. Okay? What is this? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Okay, well, I gotta figure out what the hell I meant there. So I'll skip that one just a second. Okay. I have a few other ones that are not personal, but I don't want to share. It's business related, but I don't want to share anyway, things that I'm working on. But I'm going to go ahead and attack the ones that will take me less than 5 to 10 minutes. Whatever, right? Why am I doing that? Because the sense of accomplishment, okay? I want to be able to check it off. I want to be able to say, wow, I got 3 or 4 things done. It could be 3 to 5 things that are small. Because if you think about 5-minute time limits, like to clean my desk won't take me more than 5 minutes. This next thing down here, it's a personal thing. It'll probably take me about 10 minutes tops if I really stick with it. 1 second. Let me just look through my list right here. That one my husband's gonna do. The other ones will probably take a long time, but in general, I find the ones that do, take a small amount of time, accomplish them, and then look for the next thing on my to-do list that I feel like doing. Okay, and after I get this groove going and I feel the energy, I will then attack the ones that take, how do I say, a bigger amount of time for me. I do this again because it gets me energized. I completed a lot of my to-do list. Again, I only focus on 2 or 3 major tasks. So usually if I do the smaller ones first, it's only like 10 o'clock still in the morning. Or even less than that. Like yesterday I finished all my smaller tasks by 9:30. It was insane. It was awesome. Well, maybe a little bit past 9:30, but nonetheless, it was awesome. So that's another tip. Start out with the easy stuff, a few of the easy stuff, okay? Get it accomplished. Tell yourself, yes, I did it. That's what I do. I swear to God. And then I check it off. I'm like, yeah, I'm rocking and rolling. And then I go to the next one. I literally pump myself up. And then I eventually move on to the bigger tasks, okay? And I'm working hard to finish it. Now, here is my last hack. It's a recent hack I figured out. I didn't figure it out. I learned about it. Now, let me take that back again. I knew about it, didn't care to try it. Just recently tried it, I'm going to say over a week ago. And it's been helping me, okay? I set a timer. I find that I'm very productive. I think a lot of guys know that when I first started my business working full-time, I was not as productive as I am now. However, I sometimes find myself just, you know how it is. I'm checking this, I'm writing this, I'm whatever. And even though I'm pretty disciplined, I still find that if I set myself a timer, most things, not everything is not meant for a timer. I find myself being able to finish it within that time. Certain things I don't put a timer on, however, if after a while I do it and I know how long it takes me, I tend to like, for example, when I write a blog post, it might tend to take me, depending on how the blog post is, maybe an hour. So maybe after I get used to it, I will set the timer for 45 minutes the next time I do a blog post to see if I can make it. Here's a trick for me. When I know the timer's there, I don't get a reward finishing on time, but I want to finish on time. It motivates me. I use this trick for my kids. It works for children. I've been using this for a long time with my kids. They're like, I don't want to clean. I'm like, okay, guys, let's make a race. And of course, the little one's pumped up. And I'm like, okay, if you could finish this room in 5 minutes, you get a snack. Or some crap that would give them anyway. But they tend to be motivated. Why? We want to race the clock. We want to finish on time. Us adults, you could absolutely give yourself a reward. I don't particularly need one. I just want to finish on time. It'll get me pumped, Michelle says, yes, timer. Yes, I have to do it. I'm so easily distracted. It works for me. Yes. So again, these are just tips that I do. These may work for you. I encourage you to try them. If it doesn't, find out what works for you. Find out when you had a productive day. You're like, oh, that's right. 2 days ago I was very productive. What did I do? Take a mental note or write it down of what you actually did. And then study it and say, okay, Why do I think I had a productive day that day? Well, I made a to-do list. That could be probably it. I did this. I made sure I ate breakfast, whatever it is. I tried to replicate, and I do this for personal and I do this for business. I try to replicate my most productive day by doing strategies and things I have done on a productive day on other days. Okay, it's like a no-brainer. And I do it for personal and kind of business. Like some days I have really bad days where I'm like sad and angry, and we go through a lot of emotions as business owners. So I prefer to have happy days, right? Feeling productive, had a healthy meal, you name it. So what I do is, and this is just like a personal life hack, I try, and I know this is dorky, but I log my days and what I do in those days, okay? And I'll talk to you more about this another time, but I tend to see how I feel at the end of the day or during the day, and I log my feeling. And then I say, okay, this day sucked, this day was great. And after a while, I start to see a pattern of why my day sucks, why my day is great. And when I find that out, I decide not to do the things that make my day suck and do the things that make my day great, because I always want to be happy, right? It's a simple hack that I tend to do, and I started it several weeks ago, that is helping me realize what makes my day happy. Okay, again, we live very stressful lives, all of us, running a business. So it's important that we find out what makes us happy, what makes our day end up happy, and do those. Okay? And now they're at 10:11, doesn't work anymore. That's funny. So again, my last business hack was to set the timer. Okay? I tend to do it for myself. My phone, I have an Android. Well, you don't need it. It doesn't matter. I go to Google. I don't know if everybody has this feature, but I can say, okay, Google, and then it starts to listen to me, and I tell them timer. And then the Google girl says, hey, great. How long do you want to set the timer for? And I tell her 15 minutes, and it automatically does it. And the second she does it, it starts counting down. So it's really simple. It's on my phone. I'm sure there's apps online on your computer that could count down for you. You can do anything. You can use your watch, whatever. But a lot of people have phones nowadays, and that usually helps, okay? So those are my life business hacks, morning business hacks. Yeah, I'm going to say morning because most of it was in the morning, but you could use a timer throughout the day, okay? Let's talk about blogging before we wrap this whole thing up, right? So this will be a condensed version about blogging, but I certainly want to go through it, okay? So I think a lot of us already are, really, either we know we want to blog or we don't, And I think all of us do know we want to blog or we don't want to, but for those who are unsure, let me explain to you. A blog, first of all, don't assume you're going to blog and make money from it, okay? It is not, it's very difficult to do so. However, you use it as a form of communication with your target audience, okay? And the reason why it works is because of SEO, give or take. There's other ways to share your content, but SEO. So, for example, for my e-commerce business, I don't have a blog yet, but I think that's going to be next year. But if I do have a blog, I would blog about topics regarding, well, let me get to that in a second, but I would not blog in general about random things. I would blog about things my target market cares about, okay? And again, I'll give you examples in just a second. But it's important to understand that you don't make money by people coming to your blog. You make money by the type of content you have that gets them to purchase your product, okay? Not every blog post is going to be an avenue to get them to purchase your product, okay? However, you're there to add value to their lives so they could trust you and you build that relationship with them, okay? So just think about that. Next, there are, of course, ways to make money from blogging. I'll quickly go through them. There is ad revenue, right? Putting ads on your website, on your blog. There is affiliate income, which is technically could be a good one for all of us as well, but more about that another time, which pretty much you earn a small commission by recommending certain products. You might say, why would I recommend products that are not my own? Well, sometimes you might want to recommend things that go with your products, that you could earn affiliate commission on. And there's, of course, a few more, but one of the ones I want to focus on is using this platform to give value to your customers and then recommending your own products, okay? So first, if you're out there, you want to start a blog, it's a huge commitment. For me, it's not about posting regularly. I feel like most of our customers would not regularly follow your blog unless your customers are people who read blogs. That's part of their target. That's part of their description. You know, there's some customers out there, the target audience, that actually read blogs. But if you don't feel that's part of your customer's target audience, you know, then just understand that it's not about posting once a week or twice a week, okay? It's about having really valuable content on there and marketing it, okay? So how and where do you promote your blog? I just started, but I only shared on my Facebook page. Any suggestions? I'm a Weebly. Okay, so let me talk to you in baby steps. You're here and you're like, I want to start a blog. I like the idea, Dahlia. Tell me how to do it. Of course, you have to pick a platform first, okay? I would recommend, you know, those easier ones. I prefer Squarespace when it comes to blogging platform, okay? But there's, of course, many. But you pick the one you want to go to, okay? I would not recommend doing the absolutely free ones because they are at a SEO disadvantage. They're at a disadvantage in a lot of ways, okay? Usually when you're paying for something, usually because they have features that make it easier for people that are blogging or selling. Now, I would prefer, if you have a .com, that it connects to your .com. So if you're using Squarespace for your .com, make sure you have your blog on Squarespace. If you're using WordPress for your .com, make sure your blog's on make sure it's linked together, okay? Now that you picked your platform, okay? It's important to understand branding and the theme of your blog. So we talk about branding often, right? Pictures, look, whatever. But it's important that you don't overdo it. It's not about making it all frilly and you don't want to sing for you and have glitter everywhere. It's not about that. It's about looking professional. And if you don't know how to design a blog or even know what to do, keeping it simple is probably the best thing you can do in the beginning. Absolutely. When you're first starting out, I would not recommend spending tons of money on getting somebody to design it for you and do all the bells and whistles, okay? But if you are a brand that's already making a lot of money and you're like, okay, I'm about to step up my game, then I absolutely recommend spending a little money on getting a theme for your blog. You know, they have like these plug and play themes. You can absolutely hire a designer to do it, but I don't recommend that route, especially when you're first starting. Okay, you can definitely upgrade the look of your blog without ruining your content later. Okay, so you pick a theme that kind of matches your brand. And in the worst case, if you don't know how to do that or you're like, it's messy, just keep it simple. Just keep it simple, okay? You don't want things everywhere. Just keep it simple. Okay, let's get to the bulk of this, okay? What the hell do I blog about? Okay, listen up. I'm going to put a shameless plug for one of my webinars because it's just it's the appropriate thing to do, okay? You guys know that I mention my webinars depending on what we're talking about, if I know it's going to help you. But this is certainly a shameless plug because I recently relaunched, beginning of the month, the target market webinar. I didn't make a big announcement because it's whatever. I just relaunched it. A few people caught on to it and purchased it because they were waiting for it. But I will suggest, regardless if you buy my webinar or not, that before you start blogging, you have to blog about things that your target market cares about. And hence why I recommended my target market webinar. It will help you understand what your target market cares about. And I can, of course, give you some ideas to start out with here, okay? Such as, well, it will vary depending on the person, but if somebody posted in the group yesterday about her target market, she didn't know about them, whatever, and I said, what do you sell? She said, wood signs. I said, what do people use your wood signs for? Why are they buying it? She kind of gave me some answers, but really didn't have a full circle idea. And I said, okay, if I can take a guess, people are buying wood signs for home decor. Even if they give it as a gift, it's being used as a decor piece, okay? So this is just a little guess, okay? Of course, she has a lot more. She has to find out a lot more about her target customer, but essentially, she's using it as a decor piece. So and of course, if you're using a wood sign, you may want to gear yourself toward the rustic customer. I don't know, just guessing again, because I don't know her target customer. But I would essentially say if she wants to start a blog, a few things to start off with is, for example, one of the blog posts would be 10 ways to modernize your rustic home. I don't know, just made that up, okay? What am I trying to get at here? I'm trying to give my target customer, people that care about home decor, okay? People that would be interested in my product, articles that would make sense for them, okay? So now, in this blog post and many others, you could absolutely recommend your product. So, of course, 2 of the 10 tips, or 1 of the 10 tips would have her product, okay? For example, for me, let's say, my target customer, they buy personalized stationery, they buy invitations. A lot of times they use a personalized stationery for thank you cards, usually after a birthday or whatever. So one of my blog posts can be, okay, again, I know my target customer really well, is the top 10 or top 5 unique birthday party ideas for kids. Okay? So I would, of course, go over some themes, show them pictures. Of course, pictures are really important. Show them pictures of, how these themes will look like. I find pictures all over the internet. Of course, you have to make sure to give credit where credit is due if it's not your picture. And of course, within these, I'll be recommending, in each of these, if anything, I'll be recommending my invitations and personalized stationery for them to use to obviously invite their guests and write thank you cards. Does everybody get where I'm going here? Okay? You have to think about what your target customer likes, okay, what they like, and what how do I say this? What matters to them under the realm of your market, okay? And this can apply to many different things. If you sell baby items, then blog about baby things. Blog about, the 10 things people always forget when they're packing their hospital bag. Because your target customer is about to have a baby probably, right? Or something like that. Or 10, I keep saying 10, but whatever. 8 ways to make the nursery safer, or whatever. I don't know, And of course, another part of this conversation is how do you come up with the actual content? This is not for everybody. If you cannot create content, you can't copy from people. If you cannot create content and do your research and whatever, then you may obviously have a hard time. And this is not right for you at this moment, I suggest doing another, strategy for that, for this year. But if you feel like you come up with content that your target customer cares about, then, it's simple. Then start blogging, Susan says, what about jewelry? If you sell jewelry, so again, it's a matter of, it's not just you giving me a general idea of what your market is. I know you sell jewelry. I don't think you sell jewelry, but I need to know more about your target customer, and this is why it's important to understand them. This is why I even mentioned my webinar, because you have to understand. So let me take a sip. You have to understand what's important to your target customer, what they care about, all the stuff, right? What are their fears, why they're using your product, your challenges, etc. So, okay, so you said boho, but let me take it a step further and just make up a target customer for Susan, just to kind of take it somewhere so I could give some people some answers and see how I came to that conclusion. So for jewelry, if you sell boho related items, you would, of course, here's a blog idea. You would blog about, I'm trying to think of another number. Give me a second trying to think of the blog. I can see it. I can see the title, but I'm not saying it because it's rough around the edges. And of course, when you think of blog titles, by the way, you may need to fix it a little bit to make it sound really attractive to get people to click. But I would say something like, 5 jewelry styles to dress up your wedding. Does that even make sense? To dress up your... You guys know what I'm saying, right? So that's why I said, okay, it's kind of hard to think right off the bat because I need time to think about it. But essentially, she would blog about things that the bride could add, on the day of her wedding to herself or whatever, that makes it a little extra special. One of those products or items or whatever would be your piece of jewelry, for example. Another blog post would be about, remember, you think about who's buying your product. And again, this is just an idea. I think 5 boho jewelry ideas is too general. Who is that targeting? And I think about another one would be, one second. I just thought of it and I forgot. 5 ways to dress up your, boho outfit. Or I believe there are, this sounds weird, but bear with me as I don't have the right words. There are boho related events throughout the year. Can somebody tell me what those are? Give me a second. You know what I'm talking about, guys? Could somebody help me out here? There are some boho related events in the year. They're very popular and famous. I forget what they are. But for example, what are they called? Anyway, whatever those events are, you could write a blog. Yes, Coachella. Thank you. I knew it. Yes. I was envisioning it, but I couldn't think of the name. So you would blog about, and this is just a rough blog post, rough blog post title, but 5 ways to make your Coachella outfit really stand out. I don't know, just example. Okay, yes, Coachella. So you see what I'm getting at? Who's wearing your jewelry? What do they do in their hobbies, their pastime? What are they reading? Like all the stuff. My target market webinar goes through all of that and helps you get those answers. So then you could say, okay, if they care about this and they're hanging out here, let me write a blog post about this. Does that make sense? Okay. I use Pinterest for fun. Just click. I can browse my pins to get ideas. Oh, okay. People are tagging Coachella right now. Oh, interesting. Oh, my husband's home. Anyway. Do you see what I'm getting at, guys? Of course, it's a process. I can't think of 20 ideas right now for jewelry. I would have to know your target customer. For me, I can think of 20 ideas for my business. 'Cause I know my target customer. It's important you know them. If you want to start blogging, okay, do not without knowing your target customer. Listen, we're always finding out new things about a target customer, okay? We're always. But it doesn't mean you're never going to start. Get a good sense of who he or she is and then start, okay? And again, it's not essentially about blogging once a week, so you don't have to worry about oh my God, do I even have enough content? Because I'm having a hard time thinking of one right now, right? You might think. But it's not about that. It's about making some really great blog posts. You heard me? I said great. Don't just throw something out there just to get it done, okay? And then marketing those blog posts. On Facebook, somebody asked, how do I market my blog post? On Facebook, make sure you build that following. Email list, I'm talking about email list. Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you have an engaged audience. Another one is Pinterest, you name it, okay? Here's the great thing about blogging. You're not directly selling something to somebody. They're getting information, so they'll be more than happy to look at it. And that's your opportunity to put your product in their face or provide value for them. If you have your blog on your website, they can easily click off your blog and go to your shop, Okay? So I've been blogging for about 5 years and usually get between 500 to 900 blog hits per day. Most blog hits come from Pinterest. People can see what I make and then click my link to the Etsy shop. Yep. A big part of my Etsy traffic comes from both Pinterest. Yes, exactly. Terry, you got it. How do you target if you sell different items? Like we do home decor, picture frames, wreaths, clipboards, dolls, jewelry. We have a blog, but we have not written in a while. Is it okay just to pick back up? Absolutely. You can definitely pick back up. But you're asking, what do you target if you sell different things? This is why I've talked about it a long time ago, that if you have a shop, it doesn't matter if it's etsyshop.com, wherever you sell, you have to have a clear target customer in mind. If you don't, issues like this will arise. You're like, what the hell do I write about? I have 20 different target customers. And you may not. I start to see home decor, picture frames, wreaths are all in the decor pieces. Clipboards are kind of random, right? Dolls are kind of, I'm not sure what kind of dolls, but if you're talking about kid dolls and jewelry, yes, those are kind of random. So you're in a tough spot. Do you just focus on the decor piece and only blog about that, or what? I can't answer that because you are all over the place. You have different targets. Can you blog about different things? Yes, but if you're counting on SEO bringing in your blog traffic and Pinterest and things like that, it won't matter if you blog about separate things, but if you have a customer that's in your blog looking at other blogs, you might lose her because you're talking about dolls in one and then something in another. How are you going to tie that together? It's very hard. If you sell something you are passionate in, it might be easier to blog about it. Yes, that is definitely one thing. However, sometimes, like, I'm passionate about paper, right? That's why I did it. But, you know, I will tell you, I know a lot about party planning. I have kids, obviously, so I could definitely speak to, like, birthday party. I could speak to some of these, but if you find yourself not passionate about what you sell, that's another issue we have to talk about. But if you find yourself not understanding your market, your target customer, you are not your target customer, you have no idea why they buy your stuff, you're like, they keep buying the stuff to decorate their home with, but I think it's crazy, I think it's overpriced, I don't know, whatever, you're going to have a tough time, period. Highly suggest people that are out there thinking about blogging. It's a great way to drive traffic, just like Terry said above. I think it was Terry, right? Who was it? Yeah, said above. She gets quite a few hits a day, almost 1,000 hits a day on her blog. If Terry decides, and I'm not sure how her blog is, but to really revamp her blog and make sure the most popular blog posts have mentions of her product, or she revamps them to make sure that it brings people traffic to her Etsy shop, her .com, then you can start to see much more traffic to your .com. You can start, or your Etsy shop, much more traffic and much more people converting into sales. Okay, so yes, blogging is a great way to help your .com make money, or your Etsy shop make money, help drive traffic to it. Okay, but you have to blog about the right things. It has to make sense. If you're not going to convert people. Okay, it's not just about bringing the traffic. It's about bringing targeted traffic. You want to bring your target customer to your blog, not some random Sally person who doesn't care about what you're selling. Okay, so you have to blog about the right things. Highly recommend getting to know your target customer. If you don't, if you're like kind of shoddy, I have no idea, I'd highly recommend the webinar. And just relaunched not too long ago, beginning of the month. It's available for sale now. Average, it's out there. And it is my exact methods for finding out my own target customer, okay? And I'll tell you something. I will tell you that if you want to blog, okay? Blogging, absolutely. But if you want to blog, if you want to use your email list, so to market to them, if you want to grow a successful product line, if you want to eventually market, right, social media and do it correctly, you have to know your target customer. Okay, that's when I originally launched a target market webinar last year in the summer. I'm so glad to see people knew the benefit, what's the word I'm looking for here? The importance of getting to know the target. So I had a really great launch, but I just worry there's some people out there that don't care about, they think that doesn't matter. They think it don't matter. And what you're going to find as you're growing in your business or trying to grow, it does matter. Sue asked, what is the current price of the target market webinar? It's $119. And by the way, good news, all of my webinars currently have payment plans on them. Okay? So you could pay in payments, which is awesome. So don't, first of all, regardless if you buy my webinar, don't be a fool and tell yourself not getting to know your target customer isn't important. It absolutely is. When I build my new product lines, everything I do revolves around what I know about my target customer. When you start to, and maybe in the future you might want to advertise, Facebook ads or whatever, there's no point in doing it if you don't understand your target customer. A lot of things that we do, the biggest thing that I think a lot of us would do is SEO, product lines that we're building. A lot of us are, kind of give or take in that stage. We may be starting some things like email lists and things like that. But if you don't know them, then how do you know what they like? How do you know that when you build this product line, this is what they want? I'm working on a product line as we speak. It's taken a while because I'm doing other things in between. And I could tell you, like I know in my heart, like when I launch this product line, it's going to do well because I know my target customer. And hopefully I'll be able to work on another big product line throughout the year. I know exactly what I'll be doing. It's going to be a long process. But again, I know my target customer. I know what they like. Okay? So just this conversation completely went off topic. But nonetheless, it's important. When you blog, you have to know, you have to give value to the target customer. You have to give value to the person that you're trying to target, which is people that are interested in your product. People that are interested in my product have kids. Well, I have two different target customers, and I wouldn't suggest people have two when you first start out, just FYI. But one of my target customers is people that have kids, so I know what they care about. And it's not just, okay, they have kids, so I'm blog about kid stuff. It's not that simple, okay? There's other things I get to know about them that helps me refine when I'm, and I plan on blogging in my next year plans in 2018, but it helps me refine what I'll be blogging about. It helps me refine when I'm emailing them, when I'm creating new product lines, when I'm marketing to them, and things like that. So just consider that. Let me wrap this conversation up because I need to get to work. So I gave you some morning business hacks. I hope you enjoyed them. If you missed them because you came in later, make sure you check in the beginning of this Facebook Live to check them out. And then we talked about blogging, okay? So again, if you missed part of that, make sure you watch this to get some quick points. I will do a Facebook Live completely on blogging, okay? And very soon, okay, so don't worry. I know it's on people's minds. So just know that it's not easy to start a blog. However, it requires commitment, and actually writing the post requires quality content. If you put out crap, people think you're crap. That's it. It's just how it works, So if you're going to commit to it, don't commit to it with committing to 20 different other things throughout the year. If you commit to too many throughout the year, you're probably not going to give each one the time it deserves. Okay? The best part about blogging for us, you don't have to post consistently, twice a week, once a week, because the matter of how you're going to get your people to your blog is not people that are following you consistently on your blog, but people that are finding you through SEO, finding you through Pinterest, finding you through things like that. Okay? Sorry, my phone keeps shaking. Okay, guys. I'll let you guys go. Again, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Handmade Mastermind. Okay, when you follow me, just remember, it's called Instagram Stories. So you're not looking at my Instagram posts per se. You're looking above where these little circles are. When you click my face, then you will see my Instagram Stories, things I'm posting live. It will only last for 24 hours, okay? So that's that. And if you're interested in the Target Market webinar, go to thehandmademastermind.com, click on classes, or courses, and you'll see it there, okay? How do you hashtag SEO for blogs? You don't. I'm not sure what you mean, Susan, but let's save that question for the next time I talk about blogs, which is probably when I come back from vacation. Okay, guys? I'll catch you later. Bye.